Good day, everyone. It's a beautiful afternoon here in Abuja, Nigeria. My name is Frank Olia Ochin, and today we'll be interviewing a couple of people about marriage, and we will be knowing their opinions and how ethnicity gets to affect the marital decisions we make here. Stay tuned and keep watching NoireTV. What's your name and where are you from?
Okay, my name is Emmanuel Ewelike, and I'm from Imo State.
Okay, you're from Imo State.
Yes.
Okay, when picking a wife from your place, a list is presented. What are the things on the list that are negotiable and what are the things that are not negotiable?
Okay. From my place, for example, if you're about marrying a wife, it's going to be like the family of the lady and the other villagers. So most times, things that are meant for the family of the ladies is negotiable. Like, it's going to be like, let's cover our shame from outsiders. Things like buying clothes for the mother of the lady,
Okay.
and buying clothes for and shoes for the father of the lady. All those things are negotiable. They will just tell you, try to meet up with the demands of outsiders. Our own will settle it inside as family members to be. So they will always tell you that try to meet up with the demands of the villagers. Meanwhile, our own will later see how we can go about it. Because there's this belief that relationship between in-laws doesn't have end. It's a continuous process.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Okay. Still on culture, what matters to you traditionally when picking a life partner?
Okay. One thing is this. Every average Igbo man likes a woman that is respectful. You understand?
Okay.
So most times try to look at how respectful is this woman, how submissive is this woman. If you check the pre-colonial system, Igbos are known to be acephalous. They don't have one particular head. So meaning most times they like being liberal. So you won't have a wife where, for example, you are trying to, as the head of the family, you are trying to direct her to a particular aspect and she's trying to argue with you over this and that. And mind you, in Igbo culture, man is exalted more than a woman. Mostly in Africa, it's like that. So that is most things I don't joke with as a person.
Can you briefly describe the procedures in your place of origin when you want to get married? What and what do you do? How do you go about it?
Okay, what I know is this. There is what we call, I saw they will first of all visit the lady's parents. And most times, if you watch Igbo movies, they will use adage like, I saw a flower in your house that I want to pluck. So that kind of a thing. So that first time, there's first visit, there's second visit, and third visit. That is where most times you collect the list. But sometimes, if you check distance, like let's say the person is met the lady in Abuja here, then maybe her parents are in Imo State. So the proximity and the distance, most time, maybe they'll have this agreement between the families that it should come once. The second time, we'll now try to see how we can panel beat and give him the list so that he doesn't have to spend transport coming for the third time again.
Okay.
So that's the thing.
Or can you marry a lady from your place?
Yes, of course, I can, because it will give. There's nothing strange about both of you since you are coming from the same place. So you will not have culture trying to interfere with this other culture and what have you. So because you are from the same place, it's easier to understand each other.
Okay, so what about the possibility of you marrying from another tribe or?
Yes, for me, for example, I'm a man. I don't really have much problem. It's the woman, me personally, I will pity, because sometimes you are going to, we'll call it intertribal marriage, for example. You don't know most times, because in Africa, most times when woman marries, there's this tendency of being vulnerable to the family of the man. You understand? So it's, for me as a man, it's not a problem, but it's the woman. Because most times you have situations whereby if you're having this intertribal marriage, sometimes because they know you don't know much of their culture, they will use it to, will I say, swindle you. Sometimes they will use it to, like, make you look stupid. They will tell you that in their culture, it doesn't tolerate this, it doesn't tolerate this. But because you are not from the place, you can't argue with them because you don't know which one is the correct thing. But whatever they say, you just agree to it. Meanwhile, it may not even be correct. They will just use that culture as a cover. You understand?
So, can you say the marriage norms of those days are still practiced today?
Yes, they are still practiced with consideration in the sense that, for example, before now, this room for trying to see things from the family of the guest angle doesn't exist. But because of the economic situation and the present condition of Nigeria, there are certain things that are put into consideration because they know there's not that much money around again like before. So most times, parents from their own side, even the community on its own, they soften pedals so that at least they can give away their daughters. The thing is that are these two persons in love? That's the question. So most time when they are in love, you consider like my dad of recent, let's say by October last year.
Yeah.
Yes, they say Igbo people's tradition. I mean, their marital rights are high and bride price is high. My dad gave out my sister for 5,000 as bride price. So, because he knows it's at his discretion, they determine how much or how high will it be. This is my sister I'm talking about. It's not like she's a secondarian, she's a graduate. So you see, things are different, things are changing. So even from the parents' angle, they notice that things are no longer the way they used to be like before. So they soften pedal, so things have changed.
Okay, so the 5,000, for instance, that you mentioned, the 5,000 is for the bride price. But if we were to talk about all those other things on the list, we know that from other tribes and other people from different communities, the list can sum up to maybe hundreds of thousands and sometimes even up to a million.
Yes, okay, you see, for example, now, there are situations whereby, that's why I told you earlier that when marriage is about to take place, there's always the side of the villagers and the side of the family.
Yes.
And even at the side of the villagers, there are certain things where they will request for maybe 50 yams. You can say, okay, I can only afford 25 yam or 20 yam. They will say, okay, since it's our in-law, after all, our daughter is going to be with him. So let's consider. So things like that, they soften the pedals. It depends on the family that you are going to. Most times, some family will tell you, don't worry, we'll see how we do it. Just show that commitment that, okay, you want this person and you are committed maybe a certain amount of money. Yeah. It's not necessarily that it's a particular amount that you must bring. And what baffles me most is that there's this general belief about that Igbo's bride price and marital rights are very expensive. It is not that true. Depends on the side of the Igbos. Secondly, other tribes too, their marital rights are very expensive. Go to Nasarawa State, for example. It is northern Nigeria, where they will ask you to bring about 10, 12 goats. Calculate those monies in present Nigeria. In fact, go to Niger State. Somebody told me that only coming to knock down as to you want to marry her as a lady, you come with 100,000 naira cash. That's just coming to knock down. While in Igbo land, what you request is maybe 10,000 or thereabout. You come with some cakes of wine. That's all. So you see, most time there is this stereotyping about Igbo people that their bride price is expensive. Meanwhile, there are other tribes who extort more money in the name of marriage.
Okay.
So that's what I think.
Okay. The last question: the traditional rites are completed. What can be seen as a bad omen?
Okay. I remember vividly, I told you about my sister marrying an Akwa Ibomite.
Yeah.
Yes. There are certain things she didn't tell us. Otherwise, I think there wouldn't have been need for her to wed the man. You understand? This is a personal family issue, but I had to bring it out so that people will learn.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
In Igbo land, once you married their daughter, traditionally, she becomes your wife. So what happened was that he came and did the traditional rite. We did the traditional occasion and what have you. That night she had to go with him because officially now or traditionally she had becomes his wife.
Yeah.
Then going to her husband's place in Akwa Ibom, there is these things that we the Igbos give to the in-laws while they are going. We give them like one basin of apple and one basin of soup, then a she-goat. You understand?
Yeah.
Then it was because how they did the whole ceremony was that this Saturday was for was for traditional wedding. Then the second Saturday was for white wedding. And it was after the white wedding she was not telling us that the she-goat they gave them died overnight before morning. So normal in the Igbo land, if she had notified us that this she-goat died before morning, there would not be need for the wedding because it's a bad omen.
Oh.
You understand? It's a bad omen in the sense that somehow, directly or indirectly, the she-goat represents her.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And I think at long run, it was that she-goat that died later led to her own death too. Yes, it's a bad omen. It shows that the family doesn't welcome you. So there wouldn't have been need for we to have that traditional, the white wedding if she had informed us that the she-goat died.
Wow.
You understand? Yeah,
Wow.
so you say, but there are things that this one is a bad omen. Anytime you see it, it's a bad omen. Thank you.
Wow.
Watching and giving shout out to NoireTV. God bless you and thank you.
Thank you so much.
TV, showing on Verizon Fios channel 269, Optimum channel 1100, and on Digicel. Or on our website www.noiretv.com, or download the app from the App Store or Play Store.